Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today will be a short video on laparoscopies, the pain after a laparoscopy and the recovery time and what they recommend, what worked best for me. Now I'm not a doctor, so nothing that I say could be the same for you, but this is how mine went and what worked for me. So basically I've had four laparoscopies. So what a laparoscopy is when they cut small incisions on your belly and they go through with a camera and either they burn it off or they cut it off. Honestly, I've never seen what they use because I've always been asleep. So basically they can either cut up to 4 or more holes. I believe they can cut less, but I've only ever had 4 and I've had 3 different surgeons. 4 different surgeons. There you go. New surgeon each one. So basically I'll start from scratch. So my first laparoscopy was to diagnose me with endometriosis. They weren't sure if I had it, but they were suspicious that I had it. I ended up in ED, so they rushed me through the next day to have a laparoscopy, which they did end up finding the endometriosis, but as I said in my previous video, that surgeon wasn't that great. So she just burnt off what she could, and then the next day came to me and told me, look, I could only burn off a little bit, but yeah, you've basically got endometriosis, which wasn't really helpful, but she was just a gyno, not an endo specialist. So basically my recovery with my first surgery, so I remember waking up from the laparoscopy and just screaming in pain. Now, if you're planning to get a laparoscopy soon, don't let this scare you. This was just me because I'm a sook. So basically I remember waking up and screaming in pain, and the nurse is always waiting by your bed when you're in recovery to pump you with whatever helps the pain go away. So basically I believe mine gave me endone, which worked straight away, and then you basically just lie there for a bit until you recover, and then they bring you to your room, and then you're just on antibiotics and pain relief. Now it's up to you what pain relief you want, which obviously you go through with your surgeon and you can do whatever. So basically from then on I spent the next 2 weeks in bed recovering. So you might need a nurse to help you or someone to help you get out of bed, because I cannot stress this enough. Do not strain your belly. So that's where the incisions are, on your belly, or your lower abdomen. Well, that's where mine were, and one through the belly button. And you don't want to put any pressure or any pulling or anything like that, because you've got to remember, yes, you do have the cuts on the outside, but you've also got incisions and burning and whatnot on the inside that will scar and cause scarring. So you've got to be as gentle with yourself as possible and just take care of yourself first. So basically for the next 2 weeks of that surgery I recovered, and I recovered fairly quickly as well. You bloat, you have to go to the toilet, and the one thing I cannot stress enough, if you do have endone, don't eat foods that constipate you, because endone will naturally constipate you, and you need to make sure you eat foods that help you go to the toilet, so that way you don't push when you go to the toilet. If you do have to go to the toilet, you need to let it come out naturally, as gross as this sounds. Do not push, because you will rip something or you will hurt yourself. Which brings me to my second surgery, which I had, same thing, laparoscopy, which in the second surgery they found I had endometriosis and adenomyosis, which was interesting to know. It's now on my uterus muscle, which can't be removed unless you get a hysterectomy. So basically that surgery, I woke up in pain again, went home, had my sister, she was my home aide, help me out of bed every time, and then I specifically remember waking up at about 2 AM and I was already in pain, and I grabbed the endone, had it, and then I was just pacing my room, just walking around slowly and in a circle, and my sister wakes up and she's like, "You okay? Do you need anything?" I was like, "No, I'm fine. I just feel like I need a vomit." And she was like, "Okay." And endone does that as well, and the anesthetic does that from the surgery. So that is normal. So I was pacing the room, and then next minute I am dizzy. I'm about to faint. So my best friend comes to my aid because my sister's panicking, running around the house, calling the ambulance because I was screaming and vomiting and passing out, and I don't know what happened, but basically they explained it. So I had woken up, took endone, then I thought I had to go to the toilet, so I went to the toilet and I pushed, which is what I'm telling you, and I cannot stress it enough. Do not push when you go to the toilet, because I ended up tearing something inside, and that's what was causing that reaction. So I was fainting, vomiting. I was convulsing? I was convulsing on the bed, and I was just, yeah, I was out of control. My best friend described it like an exorcism because she could not gain my consciousness because I was so in pain, screaming. So that's why I cannot stress enough, do not push anything. Anyway, so then I ended up going to the hospital, and they basically just explained that's what it was. And then they sent me home, and that was that. And then the next 2 weeks I just stayed in bed recovering. Then third surgery, pretty much the same, except this time they found polyps instead, which they removed, got tested, and they ended up being benign as well, so that was fine. And yeah, basically stayed in bed for 2 weeks. So fourth surgery was exactly the same as well, except this time it was a bit different. I had a nerve block, and I believe it's called a chemical flush as well. What they do is they flush out your fallopian tubes, which helps you get pregnant, and the chemical block pretty much feels like, can't say that I've ever had it, but a epidural, where it makes you numb from the waist down. So waking up, don't be alarmed, you won't feel anything, you won't know how to wipe when you go to the toilet. It's not great. So I mean, it's great, you won't feel anything, you won't be in pain, but it's so weird. But if you've had epidural, I'm sure you know. Anyway, so basically, yeah, all up, the pain that you can expect is when you wake up from a surgery, you will be in pain, but I am preaching to you, the nurses are right there by your bed, and they will give you whatever you need to make the pain go away. Secondly, try, and I stress this the most, try to not get addicted to the endone, not in like a drug kind of way, but the less you have, the stronger you are, and the stronger you will become, and the quicker you will heal, because endone can cause nausea, can cause constipation. If you're constipated, you'll try to go to the toilet. If you try to go to the toilet, you might rip something. So I just tried to get off of it, and I don't know if you're like me, I had endone withdrawals, and I only had it for a few days, and I basically had the worst chronic headaches imaginable. So try not to get stuck on endone. If you can, go on to Panadol, Nurofen, anything that helps with inflammation. Yeah, I highly recommend that. Yeah, that's basically it. Is the pain you get used to, the scarring, they tell you how to take care of it. That is the only pain that I had, was pretty much the scarring. The scarring's not that painful. It kind of heals itself. You got so much internal stuff going on, that's a piece of cake, and it does heal. I'll put some pictures up at the end of this so that you can see what the scarring looked like during and after the laparoscopy, and what it looks like now, which is basically gone. Like, I can tell it's there. I don't like them, but I don't know if you're different and you might not even care. But yeah, that's basically it. So if you do have any more questions that I haven't covered in this video, please let me know in the comments, and I will be more than happy to answer your questions for you. Bye guys! Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you do have any questions, please feel free to comment. If not, please like and subscribe. Also, we are bringing out a baby apparel brand, so if you would like to follow our journey or support us, please click on the links and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Thank you!